smoothly, which was great to see. So what did you think about the con, Eddie?
I was highly impressed, just from the overcrowding issue they had from last year. They limited the amount of tickets per day. They brought everyone in through one entrance and then let you disperse through there. There were a few little bottlenecks here or there, but they were a good thing because it slowed down the amount of people running from a one of the boards or one of the forums that they had. Because I mean, I was talking to one of the security guards, and they were saying that the Sons of Anarchy had a forum, or one of the bigger shows had a forum, and there were over 3,000 people in one room in this.
Damn.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was great. But when that forum let out, you have 3,000 people flooding the foyer area and going into the different exhibition halls. So you knew there was a tidal wave coming in approximately 10 minutes. Get the hell out of Dodge because you're about to get trampled. And they were more than willing to give you that information.
So, and I think you had mentioned it regarding the head of security for the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and the same was also true for Steve, who runs Comic-Con.
Oh, there was a changing of the guards.
When you see that, I saw Steve and the head of security on Saturday. When I saw him at the end of the day Sunday, he looked like
about 20 years.
It's like when they show pictures of the president, and they show him when he's first elected, they show him at the end of his term, and he just looks like crap. And these poor guys, well, at the end of the weekend, they look like Betty White.
Well, Steve's, I guess his number 2 or number 3 guy quit. I think it was an hour or two before the con began.
Damn.
So, yeah, Steve was pulling his hair out. Not to mention, from what I understand, and again, this is all hearsay. If I'm wrong, please email me. Let me know I was wrong. But the head of security, the second in command got bumped up to head of security, and someone else quit, and someone else got moved and whatever. And this poor guy who was running nothing, he was just like second or third in charge, is now basically running all of security and most of the other services because no one else was there, and he was the highest ranked person on the facility at the time, and he got a few raises, meager ones, but he got raises.
He's making a whole $950 now.
He's plumb up to $975. And I saw him on Friday, and he was explaining to me, I can't talk to you right now. Someone just quit. And he came back a little while later, goes, well, I have this rank. And, well, the next day he's like, hey, guess what? I got another raise.
That's like some days in retail or even in restaurants, like on Black Friday, where these folks are making $7.50 an hour, and they're doing a doorbuster sale, and people just quit. It's like I just quit.
I personally, I'm not a large group of people person. I can handle a small group of people. We can talk. We could be friends. If you get a couple of hundred people that all want to do whatever, and it's in my way, screw that. I don't need that much headache in my life. But I was very impressed with the way they handled the crowds, and they had 60,000 people come through the doors in 3 days. Not to mention, the bulk of that was on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was just, everything went smoothly.
I thought Sunday was the perfect flow as far as my, walking around and buying stuff and perusing the vendors. That was the day I was able to get through.
On Sunday, before they opened the doors, because I have friends everywhere, because I've just talked to everybody, I was informed that 14,000 tickets were sold for Sunday. That's not including the people that were going to try to walk up to the door then to get their tickets. Also, all these numbers I'm giving, some of them do not include the close to 2,000 to 2,500 vendors and vendor passes that were distributed for the weekend.
And their entourages.
Of course. I mean, I can't sell movies, DVDs, whatever else, tiki huts. I can't sell whatever I need without 20 people backing me up telling me how great that I am.
My only gripe for the whole weekend was the $5 cup of small Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Oh, I got that beat.
That was pretty insulting.
we ventured up to because I was dressed like Guy Fieri. I had to venture and try the food there, which A was a mistake. B, I paid almost $8 for 3 chicken fingers and about a handful of French fries. And I'm not talking my size hand. I'm talking like midget, little person hands. So whatever the politically correct way to say that is. They weren't giving the food away. I guarantee you. And it was not. I would not be doing a review on it. Put it that way.
That's why I went over to the Providence Place Mall, which is a place I normally try to stay out of, and I enjoyed myself some Popeyes fried chicken. It was it was well worth the walk to actually get a big meal for, that's one of those places where $6-7 you just get a ridiculous amount of food, and then there's a Taco Bell across the street or across the way from the Popeyes, so a great affordable option. Of course, you can leave Taco Bell $12 poorer and just have like a huge plate of different foods.
Without getting off topic, in that same food court in Rhode Island, in Providence Place Mall, there is either Lebanese or Middle Eastern type food where you can get lamb kebabs and really good homemade food. It looks like it's fast food because it's in the food court, but the food was excellent, and I've actually eaten there.
The food court has really stepped up its game. I mean, like I said, I don't like to go to the mall very often, and I was very impressed by the fact that there was actual food, edible food in the food court.
Yeah, the selections are improving. I think over time people are trying to fancy themselves as foodies, and as people are doing that, a lot of the companies are saying, hey, if I want to keep up with this trend,
I can't serve slop anymore.
Yeah, I have to, if I'm serving chicken, it's got to look like chicken. that gray wannabe meat is not going to cut it anymore.
Mystery meat. Let's get back to some local music here. Unfortunately, we're starting to run out of time, but I want to play a double shot. That's right, we're going to hear 2 from Listen Lady, starting with Rain It Down. Then we come back, I'll talk a little bit about No Shave November. Yes, I look homeless. Here's some Listen Lady, Rain It Down right here on the Tony Jones Show.
You've just got to accept it. Your Game Boy is gone. It's at the bottom of the ocean. Hello, Listen Lady.
To a handful of people, I'm the biggest regret, and I really hate to think that this is good as it gets. Swearing at myself, I got no fucking Tourette's. Oh no. And I really hate to think that there was something to change, and I'm really super sorry that I'm going insane. Don't mean to bother, I don't mean to complain. Oh no. If you change your mind, I might change in time. Who knows what she'll find if I do what I like. If you change your mind, I might change in time. Who knows what you'll find if I do what I like. If you could see how small I can really be, would you notice, would you care, would you pick me up and swallow me? So excited that I'm writing that I can't seem to stop. In my heart I knew Jenny would be on top. And if I had my way, I would never be safe from you. If I had my way, I would never be safe from you. But hiding in these walls is all I seem to ever do. Ever do. Ever do. Ever do.
Little Mouse, the name of that one. Some Listen Lady right here on the Tony Jones Show. In fact, a double shot of Listen Lady. Last time we chatted, I brought you into Rain It Down. TonyJones.org is my website. Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show. On the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. Of course, thank you for tuning in with me. Those catching us live who do not give two craps about football, and those listening in podcast form on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Spreaker, etc., etc. As always, thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me. You know, I did have to make a call this week, and there was a consideration to actually not do programming this weekend because of all the things that are going on in the world. And after some reflection, it is the consistency, it is the importance of grinding it out and doing what we know and doing what we love in the face of adversarial conditions. And that's why we're here today, and that's why Rhode Island Free Radio is on the air doing its regular content, playing silly songs, talking about horror, talking about comic books when things in real life mirror what is seen in horror movies. We'll be here, we'll be on the air, we'll be with you, and we will continue to do what we do. No Shave November is upon us. You know I've been supporting this for quite a few years now. There's one part of No Shave November that doesn't work for me because part of the fundraising aspect of No Shave November is to grow a beard and spend what you would spend on shaving supplies, donate that to Men's Health and Cancer Awareness. Well, I'm so friggin' cheap that I'll just use the same crusty, rusty razor. So there's really nothing for me to donate when having a beard because I've just been using the same pube-ridden razor that I've been using probably like every 6 months. I'll go ahead and go to the dollar store and get some new razors. So unfortunately, I can't participate on that side of things, but I can participate in growing this lush, beautiful, homeless beard and just talking about men's health and men's type of cancer, which nobody wants to talk about because, just like my pube-ridden razor, it's gross, right? We're talking about colorectal cancer. We're talking about prostate cancer. And if you think back, there's someone in your family that has had some form of men's health issues. And it's kind of this is the time of year to really talk about that, put that on the table, donate to respectable charities. And, you know, if you think back, one of my favorite bands, the Ramones, two of the Ramones suffered from prostate cancer, and it took Johnny Ramone's life. And part of that, as men, we're stubborn, right? There's nothing positive. There's nothing that, well, most guys I know, that they don't want to go and have a prostate exam, right? I mean, nobody wants to. Well, there's a few people I know that want to, but that's a different story. But it's the time of year to think about men's health, and if you're having those type of issues, constant urination, really consider going and getting yourself checked out, especially when you're starting to get to a certain age where these issues pop up when men get into their early 40s and then mid 40s and especially in the 50s. And I think there's some kind of one of the polls I read that I think in the 50s it's 50% of men that have some kind of a men's health issue. So think about that. Think of the folks that you know and love and encourage them to, if they're not feeling right, consider going to get checked out. And, you know, No Shave November really has caught fire. It's not quite up there yet with October and women's cancer awareness and breast cancer awareness, but I think No Shave November is really starting to be a great way to dovetail into thinking about